Hello and welcome to today's topic, time division switching. Hope you have gone through the previous shared PDF of time and space switching. So I will be describing a part of this time division switching. So let's start with that. In space division switching, cross points are used. You know that cross point from the crossbar switching system. So that cross points are used in the space division switching system, and it is used and it is established a specific connection between two subscriber. Like I have described in the circuit switching network, it's a dedicated path between two subscribers. Similarly, in the space switching also, a dedicated path will be established between two subscribers. Until and unless they will not tear down their connection, it will be remain dedicated to them. So this cross point of multi-stage space switch is assigned to a particular connection, is dedicated to a connection for its entire duration. So that cross point won't be shared afterwards. But time division switching, that problem will be nullified in this time division switching. It involves the sharing of the cross points for shorter periods of time. Therefore, in time division switching, greater savings in cross points can be achieved. So, dynamic control mechanism, by using dynamic control mechanism, a switching element can be assigned to many inlet or outlet pairs for few microseconds. That means we know that for our speech signal, it is sampled at 8000 bits per second, and that sample rate is 125 microsecond. So we can see that a sample can be passed from input to output through a switch in a small fraction of 125 microsecond. And the time division switching, it uses two technique, that is time slot interchange technique and TDM bus technique. This time slot interchange technique will be the main objective of this lecture. Here we can see, here is a frame, and this is my DM, that is the data memory. This is the control memory. Here is the output panel, where we have written that output slot number and contents of the data memory locations. And here in down, this is a CTS. CTS is nothing but the clock. CTS is the time slot clock. It runs at time slot rate, that is at rate of 1 pulse every 125 microsecond. So it will control this time slot counter. That means one time slot, that's 1 8-bit pulses will be passed, then it will trigger again. Like that way the clock pulse will be running. So you have gone through this PCM process, right? So if we sampled our analog signal in time domain, and then in if we sample the analog signal in time domain and then in discretized in the amplitude level also, then we get that quantization level. And if we make the quantization level from 0 to 256, so for 0 to 256, for each and every level, suppose each sample will be getting some certain values. So for 256 2 to the power 8, that means each level or the each value of this sample will be consisted of 8 bits. So after 8 bits, this clock will be again triggered. That 8-bit will be coming as a clock pulse. So runs at a time slot rate at the rate of 1 pulse every 125 microsecond. So this CTS will be running this counter, and that counter will be incremented by 1 at the end of each time slot, and it provides the location address for the data memory and the control memory. Location address for the data memory and control memory. So how this data memory and control memory is accessing? So this memory accesses take place simultaneously in the beginning of this time slot only. How it is? Suppose here we can see that this frame is coming, and beside this frame, beside this number, time slot number, some contents are written over here, some addresses are written over here. And here in this control memory, we can see that beside one, another time slot or that address of the content is written. So from here we can say that the contents of the CM, that is the contents of the control memory, acts as the address of the data memory, and the data readout to the output trunk, and the data read out from this data memory to the output trunk. That is 1 is written as 1. So this content will be the address of the data memory. So I will look into the address number 1. What is the content of here? That is 38. So that 38 will be coming out at the first time slot. For second, it is written 7. So at the 7th address, 7th location, my data is 42. So some 7th position 42 will be, sorry, at the second position 42 will be written, as my second time slot's content is 7. As this CTS is running this counter by which the time slot will get changed and through which this control memory will be incremented, and we will get certain number. 1 has got content 1, 2 has got content 7, which will be notifying the address of the data memory, and we will get that address content and take it as an output and give it to the output trunk. So similarly, you can follow the example. 1 has given the content as 1. So I will look into the address of the data memory 1. What is the content? It is 38. So at the output frame, it is out of at that one frame, first frame, it is written 38. Similarly, 2, it is 7. So at the 7th position is 42. That is why 42 is written under 2. 3 is 4. So 4 is 51. So 3 is 51. Like that way it is gone. So that is how time slot interchange has happened. So this time slot interchange can be organized in two fashions. One is sequential write and random read, and random write and sequential read. So how it is working? Let's see. Sequential write and random read, and random write and sequential read. So that is nothing but you can see this first figure. In sequential write, random read, it implies that specific memory locations are dedicated to the respective channels of incoming TDM link. Data are stored in sequential locations in memory by incrementing modulo n counter with every time slot. Thus, incoming data during time slot 2 is stored in the second location within the memory. On output, information retrieved from the control store specifies which address is to be accessed for that particular time slot. This is the data store, and this is a time slot counter, and this is the control store. So sequential write, so particularly we can see that second time slot it is coming. So obviously it is, as it is a sequential write, so based on this time slot counter, when it will be incrementing 1 then 2, then my data store's second position will be consisted of this second time slot. Whatever the data is coming in second time slot, it is storing in this second position. So that is why it is known as sequential write. And similarly, it will be also controlling my control store where the data will be stored in certain location, and that will be finally coming out. Suppose it is stored at the 16 location, so obviously that 16 will be at the 16th time slot. My second this second position, whatever the data was there, that is coming out as the output. That is sequential write and random read. And another one is the opposite, that is random write, sequential read. This is random write and sequential read. It is the opposite of the first process, that is incoming data written into the memory location as specified by the control store. Sorry, I have not written this box. This is my control store. Yeah. So incoming data written into the memory locations as specified by the control store, but outgoing data retrieved sequentially under control of an outgoing time slot counter. The data received during time slot 2 is written directly into data store address 16, and it is retrieved during the outgoing TDM channel number 16. So that is how these two fashions are working, that is sequential write random read and random write sequential read. And this is what another diagram of time division time switching mechanism, which comes under this category only. So that is nothing but here serial to parallel and parallel to serial, these two diagrams are there, and one MDR is there. MDR is memory data register. For convenience I have drawn this 2 MDR, but there is actually one MDR available, which will be controlling this gate mechanism. Yeah, and then we can see one data memory bus and the control unit. So the input and output lines are connected to a high speed bus, that is the data bus, memory bus, data memory bus, through input and output gates. Each input gate is closed during one of the 4 time slots. Suppose there are 4 time slots are available, so each input gate is closed during one of the 4 time slots, and during the same time slot the output gate, only one output gate should be closed. This pair of gates, that is the input and output gates, allows a burst of data to be transformed from one input to a specific output line through the bus. The control unit opens and closes the gates according to the switching need. The time division time switch may be controlled by sequential write random read or random write sequential read, as I have already described. So that is all about this time division switching technique. Please go through the PDF file, and also I will share this copy also with you. Thanks for listening.